What's up, y'all? Everyone is here back with another Godforge video. Let's go. So we're into the game, baby. We're into the game. Beta, let's get it. And for today's video, obviously I want to pull some stones in the Godforge, as well as go over where I'm at, kind of just poke around in the game itself, give you a little bit of insight on where I've come and gone. So far I'm level 8, and then we're going to go from there. But I will say there's definitely a lot that I still need to learn. So we're going to be learning as I go. And yeah, they do give a lot of nice free rewards throughout the day. So if you're playing nonstop, it's really nice. I will make some tailored videos to gearing. Of course, there's energy. There's different items in the game. So you're going to need to know about that. So stay tuned, stick around, and let's first start off in the Godforge. I think I will do a bunch of summons. The cool part about this, so we're going to go over summons in this video a little bit. And then, of course, I want to go to the campaign because a lot of your time is going to be spent in the campaign for the beta. So for chances for these mortal stones, ancestral stones, eternal stones, and flawless. So mortals, you can get for different affinities. These are non-eternal heroes. So there's the blue wisdom. There's also the snake there, and the red, which is strength. The snake, I believe, is the invoker, and the purple is for eternal. So these are the chances, and you can actually get a legendary hero. It's only a 0.005% chance, which is super unlikely. But from a mortal stone, you could potentially get a legendary hero. So that's kind of insane. I do have 51 stones. For the mortals, I have 4 ancestrals, which is a 0.5% chance for legendary and a 9% chance for epic, as well as 2 eternals, 0.5% chance for a eternal hero. So that's really nice. Now it does say for rares, you can get after 80 summons from mortals, you can get a rare. Move myself out of the way a little bit so you can see it. And then in ancestrals, after 20 summons, you'll automatically get an epic. After 200 summons, you'll automatically get a legendary. For eternals, 20 summons, you get an epic for an eternal. And then 200 summons, you'll get a legendary eternal. And then flawless, every 20 summons of the flawless, which is the golden one for the stones, you'll get a legendary hero. So that's kind of cool. I do like that. So let's just hop right in. And then, of course, from the flawless, you can only get epics and then a legendary. You can't get anything lower. So yeah, let's go ahead and just summon 10 and see what we can get. This is my first time summoning right here for you. This is beta. You can't spend money in the beta, FYI. So I get a bunch of, these are like food champions or heroes is what I would say. A lot of these. Now, I will say there are some commons and uncommons that can be utilized throughout the entirety of the game for the beta if you wanted to do so. But for me, obviously, I'm going to try to utilize some stronger heroes if I can. If I see good synergies with the commons and uncommons, then I'll definitely utilize them because you've got your defenders, you've got your brawlers, you got your invokers. Everybody synergizes differently. So, of course, there are some commons or uncommons you might want to use. And then keep in mind that for certain campaign stages, you might have a specific way to beat the stage. Right, so it'll be like, hey, you have to beat the stage with at least 2 commons that are brawlers, or beat the stage with 2 uncommons that are brawlers, or so on and so forth. So keep that in mind. Still no rare from here. Okay. Oh, wait. Did we get something good? Okay, that looked way cooler. I thought we got something crazy good right there for a second. Let's see if it goes faster. Okay. A lot of black jaguars here. A lot of food, really. 2-star food versus 1-star food. All right, one more summon here from the mortals. Here we go. Can we get a legendary? That would be insane. Here we go. Nope, we don't. Okay, we've got ourselves a dryad. Let's go on to the ancestrals. See if we can get something good here. Come on, give me some epics. What do we got here? Looks like a rare. That looks like a rare to me. Yeah, that's a rare. Oni He's a brawler, strength hero. Yeah, so there's strength. Then there's so there's different affinities, right? I wish that you could do a pop-up on the affinities here, but over time you'll just learn them anyways. But for now, we'll just go blue, red, green, and then eternal. Now, if you do want to check out my video on these affinities, check out the video. I'll have it linked somewhere. You can check out my affinity video from the alpha testing. But I do go over strong, weak versus critical hits. Now this guy's from Izumo, land atop the clouds, okay, and he's a chaos hero. All right, let's go ahead and summon another one here. Maybe we can get a Lego though. That'd be pretty crazy. Oh, we got a copy of Ramses, who is my starter character, my starter hero. Maybe I can +1 my Ramses now, or even make an imprint if I wanted to. Or I could do a double Ramsey, double damage with him because he has AoE attacks. This looks like an epic. I think this is an epic. I think I got her in the alpha. Now you can skip if you want. It is an epic. Bastet, strength, slayer, from the order, and she's an Aru. So for her, attacks an enemy. If the target's under blaze, each hit has a 50% chance to increase the duration of blaze by 1 turn and heal 100% by 100% attack this hero. This one here, resistance down. So she can do a resistance down 1 or a resistance down 2, which decrease the resistance by 50%. Attacks all enemies and places a resistance down 1 on each target for 2 turns. If Ra is on an ally, increase the damage inflicted by 25% and place a resistance down 2. Okay, so if Ra is a legendary character, of course, so that can be difficult to get, right? Attacks all enemies with a 75% chance of placing a blaze on each target of 2 turns. So this is a good character right away because there's double AoE attacks. So great for waves, in my opinion. Increase this hero's turn meter by 5% when inflicting damage to enemies under blaze. Yeah, so that's nice. Now, does she synergize well with my Ramses? I'll have to go over that afterwards, but I believe he has a bleed, if not mistaken. I gotta double check on that. So, or an acid. So she's also a starter, I believe. No, she's not. So Ichel, order, wisdom. So wisdom are usually like healers. Yeah, so she's got a mend, which is a heal. Basically, reduce bleed stacks by 2 and heal 10% at the start of each turn, or of the turn. This one's a heal ability. So this is going to be a good character. Remove 1 debuff from all allies and places a stalwart. Stalwart is, this hero is immune to disable, which is great, right? You want to be having someone that can create a disable immunity. The duration is reduced when an enemy attempts to place the disable on this hero. Will remove disable when placed on this hero. Yeah, so that's nice. And it goes on each ally for 1 turn. Very nice. Place a mend for 1 turn on all allies. If an ally is below 50% HP, also place increase their turn meter by 10%. Okay, so that's just a wording. They just need to fix this in the wording. Probably just also increases their turn meter by 10%. Otherwise, increase their divinity by 10%. This is a good healer, in my opinion. For a rare, that's not bad. I'll definitely keep her and utilize her. And then for a passive here, if we get her ascended, at the start of this hero's turn, sacrifice 10% of their HP and heal all allies for 20% of this hero's missing HP. Okay. So you want to build her with heavy HP, and then she could be a decent healer. This guy here, Drain. It's a decent ability, not insane, but it is decent. Attack 4 random enemies. That's 4 times. Wow. 4 random. Each hit, 50% chance to place a hex. In the hex, allies receive 5% of the damage inflicted to this hero. The damage is halved for AoE attacks. So basically, the hex is kind of like spreading damage to other enemies if it's placed on one enemy and then you attack. The damage is half for AoE attacks. Allies receives 5% of the damage inflicted to this hero. Yeah. So yeah, it basically just spreads damage to the other enemies. So that's decent ability. Attack an enemy if target's under a hex has an 80% chance to spread the hex to all enemies. So a debuff spread champion for just hex only. Reflect 20% of damage inflicted on this hero to all enemies under hex. Wow. I wonder if that'll be a very strong ability or not. 20% of the damage he receives. It may not be crazy, but of course it might be good against bosses potentially. I don't know, or even later stage characters. Also, when I did the minigame, this was my starting character. So I only did the minigame once or twice. I didn't do it enough, but he's actually decent. Not gonna lie. This guy is Ninurta. Okay, the names are gonna be tough, right? There's over 200 heroes now. The names are gonna be tough to remember. He's a strength character and he's a defender. So he's basically helping support the team. He attacks an enemy, places a barrier on himself. I wish it was on the whole team. And but it's equal to 10% of damage inflicted. When retaliating, attack all enemies. So that way the barrier would end up being bigger. So if you can place a retaliate on this guy, he'll end up doing a crazy amount of shielding on himself, right? If he has good damage. So this one is taunt. Each hit 40% chance to place a taunt on the target, which is great as well. And then this ability here is awesome. Attacks all enemies, places an Aether Burn, which is when taking a turn, decrease the divinity of all allied heroes by 6%. Does not reduce boss divinity, which kind of stinks. Also increases the weak hit chance when this hero attacks by 10%. So you could technically build this guy with 90% crit rate if you wanted to against, or rather, maybe you wouldn't want to do that. You still want to build him 100% crit rate if you can help it. It just reduces the weak hit chance, which is nice. If they have an Aether Burn, which means going up against his negative affinity, it's typically a 30% chance to weak hit, whereas this drops it down to a 20% chance to weak hit against that target if they're negative affinity to him, or he's negative affinity to them. Decrease attack, which is crazy. If the target's a boss, a decrease attack down by 50%. So this is a really good character for starting, especially if you're going up against bosses. So I do like that a lot. Then here's one of his passives. 20% chance to redirect an enemy's attack from an ally to this hero. Increase this hero's turn meter by 20%. Chance increases by 10% against enemies under Aether Burn. It's a potential chance to increase turn meter by 30%. Then, another one, an imprint that I just threw on him. When this hero's HP falls below 50%, places a shield 10% HP on them. So that's really nice. It actually can protect him. Since he's a defender, it's nice to have this Valkyrie Aegis on for an imprint because he's going to soak up a lot of damage as it is from the waves and help your team. So we don't want him to die. Now I just threw him in gear as much as I could for the beginning because we just started. But of course you'd want to build him with a solid amount of HP if you can help it. Get him in defense, get him in attack, because his damage is actually based on defense and attack, right? So that's what I was doing, is trying to get some defense, some attack. It's hard to build him because you have to spread everything out. You also want accuracy on him. You want divinity if you can help it, because his bigger abilities, like this one here, the ultimate, you need a lot of divinity, right? So you need 2150 to use it, or is it 725 rather? So ultimately, you want to have a lot of divinity on your characters if you can get it, especially on damage dealers, because they're bigger abilities. 350% attack on this guy here, which is Ramses. And this is the guy that I mentioned. He has acid, yeah. So she actually works well with someone who places Blaze, which, of course, nobody on my team has that. So what I'll probably do is ascend this guy or promote him. No, I need to actually do it a different way. So once I ascend him, I think then I can go ahead and do other things with him. I'm going to upgrade his skills, though. What does his skills take? So, oh, awakening, that's what it is. So you have to have an awakening level. It has to be a star as purple in order to start the awakening process. So because I don't even have my Ramses ascended, I can't awaken, I don't think. Can I? I can use an echo as well. Echoes you can get, but I'd rather just do this. It doesn't cost anything either. And it says outgoing damage multiplier 5%. So I might as well get him as strong as possible. And I can also use an echo, but I might consider using that echo. I wonder if that echo is only for rares. Let's see. Yeah, so that echo is specifically for rare, the blue echo. So if you use an echo, it'll actually help you out. So I'm going to use that on my Ramses. And now I have armor attunement stat multiplier plus 10%, armor primary stat multiplier 7.5%, weapon stat multiplier 7.5%. So his damage is going to be a lot better now. Of course, he's only level 10, so I just started. But we'll see how things go over time. A lot of rewards you can get from pretty much everywhere, right? You get the quests, you get the weekly quests, and you get the monthly quests as well. So a lot of different areas where you can collect things. I've already read this. I don't need that anymore. Ooh, I ended up getting my reward here, the last reward, which is the Flawless Aether Stone. So if I summon that... Oh, it says guaranteed legendary? The first one? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Will I actually get a guaranteed legendary? Let's see. Oh, it is. Oh, we've got ourselves... I had this guy before in the alpha. I was kind of hoping for a new hero to play with. But Dracula, he actually was pretty good. I don't know if they buffed him or nerfed him or kept him the same. But he had AoE attacks, multiple AoEs. He's a decent champion. I won't say he's bad. I think he stacks over time though, because I think he has like a bleed. What do I want? Experience? I think I want experience. All right, so I can level up people. So yeah, so for my first legendary, he's got bleed. Yeah. Attacks an enemy 2 times. Each hit, 75% chance to place a stack of bleed. Also heal 5% HP this hero if the target's under bleed. Place 2 stacks of bleed on all enemies and remove 1 random buff from each target. If a buff was removed, place 3 stacks of bleed and gain an extra turn. Wow. I don't remember him gaining extra turns. Did they change that? Attacks all enemies 4 times. Yeah, he has the quad hitter AoE. He actually is pretty good. Before attacking, consumes all stacks of bleed on each target. Increase the damage by 8% per stack of bleed consumed. So yeah, so he's better in a long-term fight where he can stack as many bleeds as possible, or you can synergize him with other heroes that can place bleed. So he is a strong character. At the start of an enemy's turn, if they are under bleed, increase the damage of this hero's next attack by 10%. So he's got crazy skill ceiling, right? If he's a hero that you want to bring into the end game, and he'll be really, really, really strong. In the beginning, he's still going to be strong because of the quad hitting AoE regardless against waves. But as time goes on, you need better gear to build him out. But yeah, so that's where I am. I think I have a couple more stones. I got Eternals here. I got 2 Eternals. Be crazy if we got a legendary from here. Here we go. What do we get? Is this an epic? Nope, a rare. Kind of look like an epic a little bit. He's a brawler. Order. Eker. Attacks enemy, each hit heals for 30% of the damage inflicted. If Gilgamesh is an ally, will join the attack. Nice. Attacks an enemy and reduce the target speed by 10. Stacks up to 4 times, so decrease their speed by 40. If the attack is a strong hit, will increase the damage inflicted by 20% of the target's attack. Wow. This guy could be strong against bosses because he's going to reduce boss speed by 40, which is pretty insane long term. Attacks 4 random enemies. Each hit 50% chance of placing a blunt 1 on the target for 2 turns. If the attack is a strong hit, places a blunt 2, which decreases the strong hit chance and strong hit damage by 30%. Yeah, he's great against boss. Increases hero's chance to strong hit by 15%. Wow, okay. I like this guy. He's not bad for a rare. One last summon here, and that'll call it a day. Well, I'll keep playing. But for y'all, we'll call it a day. All right, we got Sigurd. Sigurd, Dragonbane, an Asgard hero, another brawler. I'm getting a lot of brawlers, it seems. Attack an enemy, place a barrier equal to 5% of the damage inflicted. If Breinhold is an ally, also place a barrier on her, so good synergy with her. Attacks an enemy, then places Faith up. So Faith just basically helps you to gain more divinity faster. So it's 10% increase on Faith. If Breinhold is an ally, also place a Faith on her. Will always strong hit against bosses. So her and Breinhold will be pretty crazy because Breinhold's a great champion to utilize as a support and damage dealer. Attack an enemy. Inflicts 20% increased damage to bosses. Great. If the target's defeated, decrease the damage this hero receives by 10%, stacking up to 3 times. I wonder if this carries over for each wave. Dragonhorn skin, when this hero is attacked, heals for 30% of the damage inflicted. Wow. He actually is pretty decent for a rare as well. At least his kit reads well. But yeah, so that's it for now. So far, things are going well in the game. There are some bugs here and there, just small things, nothing crazy. Here's where I'm at so far in the campaign. I haven't 3-starred everything, but I'm just trying to push as far as I can for today. We've got ourselves a solid amount of points. We have now a new legendary. I'm going to, of course, bring in the new legendary going forward, my Dracula, and then I'm going to start gearing him up. So already I have 2 epics, a legendary, multiple rares. All these copies here that I summoned, more than likely those commons and uncommons are just going to be food, because you're going to get those mortal stones over time. So you'll be able to just continuously pull those stones, and you might not need any of these commons or uncommons right away. But as time goes on, you are going to need them in the future. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you learned a little bit from this. I learned a little bit from this as well, just going through, clicking through, and learning a couple things here and there. Next video, I probably want to talk a little bit about the Revenite or Revenite that you can gain, which is this right here, Rivenite, the raw Rivenite. So we're going to talk about the raw Rivenite material in the next video. So definitely hold up and watch that video once it comes out. And you guys have a great day. Take care.